fellow Rangers, welcome back to another video. You're probably wondering, Lone Ranger, what's going on? You finished the Tuscany's Mustang. You're normally meant to be doing the history of the Tuscany's Mustang now. Well, there's a very good reason why I say why I'm not doing it just yet. Simply because I forgot I had two Mustang Bs in my collection that needed to be built. The Tuscany's one, which you can just see the box by there, and this one, this P51 in 72 scale. So, rather than making two separate playlists for both Mustangs, and then retelling the history of both of them again twice, I thought it'd be best to build this one up and then do the histories of both aircraft with their own individual histories behind them, rather than do it twice. It's a lot smaller than our other Mustang, as that was a 148. This is a 172. But this one, I think, was someone else had it at first, because there's a lot more transfers in here than would be. But little spoiler, but we are going to go with the RAF variant rather than the American one, because the British did use the Mustang in our Royal Air Force. So by the looks of it, it's got a yellow line, which we will need to have to recreate ourselves. But it doesn't matter. We will figure that out as we go along. We've done it sort of thing on Mustang. On the first one, we can do it on this one. Masking bits up for Mustangs. So we'll soon see what it's all about when we get to that bit. Right. Beautiful little Mustang 172 scale. Oh, unlike our Tuscany's one, this actually tells you roughly what to paint it in. And I think if I remember right, yes, there is. There is a metal thing for it as well, with all the panels, seat belts, the lot. Don't know if that's original with this kit, but we'll soon find out. According to this, it does Mustang P51 B and C Mustangs. It might do ours. I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll get on to the first start of the kit and then go from there. And we'll see, as it's so small, we may not paint the cockpit, as the fact is, unlike the other Mustang, you probably may not be able to see the cockpit, so we might not do that. Anyway, let's get on with the build. Time for the time lapse. Right guys, and gals, I've just had a look at the size of the actual cockpit, and no, I'm not going to bother painting it. It's just going to be more hassle than it's worth to paint it, because you'll spend a lot of time painting this and you won't see it. It's going to be a little bit pointless doing it. Yes, I know, if you're going to do it, if you had like a magnifying glass at the end, you'd be able to see inside. But I got the Tuscanini's Mustang for that, and I can see inside that perfectly. So there's no point doing that, I think. So pretty much we will get this cockpit assembled now. Oh, and then pretty much move on to the next stage, which is not much to this Mustang, as you can see. So yes, we'll go on from there. Right, we'll do the time lapse on this bit now, as I don't want you getting bored watching me putting aircraft together. Unless that's what you want to watch, and then by all means let me know in the comments section below. As essentially, I'm always trying to make sure that I do entertaining content for all of you. So, right, let's get on with that time lapse. Right, fellow Rangers, well, this little cockpit, hang on, let's see if we can get this to focus. Our little cockpit is come together quite nicely already. While that is setting, we will get on with getting the front parts of the fuselage. Unlike the last Mustang that we did, the tail section is completely separate to the fuselage. I hope everyone is doing well at the moment, and anything that you're planning on below, anything that you've got planned that is going well for you. Right. Right, time to make sure there's no flashing or anything that's off the sprue that's left on the aircraft. I think we'll put the stand roughly where the last one was, so that on the last Mustang, so that we can have this going around on Aaron's turntable when it is done for the history segment. Yeah, it's always best to have these little files, everyone. It just makes life so much easier. You can use nail files as well, but I just find it a lot easier with these, simply because of the fact that you can get accurately where you want to go, rather than not getting it exactly where you want them to be. Let's have a rough idea where we can put this our little stand that we will be using. And this way also we don't make any damage filing it down so that we don't do any unrepairable damage. Right. From the looks of it, I think I might have just found where we can have the Yes, I think I've just found where we can have that stand, because essentially by here it flaps open and then it goes onto the tail. Well, and then if we did that, we wouldn't have any space for. It would make life harder, and at the same time, you also got to get it so that it'll balance on the stand properly. So we'll get one of our little stands from my bag and go on from there. Right, guys, we've got our little tripod, little stand for our build. Again, I do exactly the same as I would do if it was the actual aircraft. We don't want anything sticking out, because essentially when this little stand gets put into the bottom of the Mustang, and that'll be one way for me to be able to paint the aircraft and not have to put my fingers on the aircraft when building it. Right. Before we try to put the fuselage together and with the cockpit, we will see how much we need to file down so that we can get the fuselage together without it fouling typical. When you want to do something, it becomes a bit of a struggle. Right, that's it. There we go. That's what we want. Yes, so we will file that down. You shouldn't need too much. Shouldn't need to do too much on this, as we're not using a big stand. There we go. That's another reason why I like using these proper files that we've got here, because the fact is you can get it so that it's roughly precisely right where you need it to be. And bingo! Yes, perfect. That fits in lovely. Right. Now we want our cockpit glued into one side, as we're not painting it this one, as I said, simply because of the fact that it's far too small, and it's just, we'll get the detail on the outside of the body, as we would do if we would make building a bigger kit, but regarding the interior, no, I'm not going to worry too much about it. And there we are, we got our cockpit in there. Now we've got just put a tad bit more glue just back here, just so that we know it's securely in before we do it, because when we put this fuselage together, it's not going to have everything all straight up, because the fact is we're putting a stand on here as well. Oh, there we are. This is going to be placed underneath it so that we can, and pretty much essentially right, well, we'll rejoin you now in a moment once everything's set. Right, guys, we got it mocked up now with the stand in place. All we got to do is now glue the fuselage. We'll do it on this side, as this is where all the parts are going into. And because we want to try to keep the clear plastic clear, which is on the stand, we will use our glue that we use that dries perfectly clear and it doesn't fog up the clear plastic, so that we can try and keep our stand as clear as possible. I just like the look of a clear stand compared to like cloudiness from let's say from the Revell model glue. So right, just got it's going to be like a thing where you need more than one pair of hands. Oh, I don't know why I'm laughing. There we go. Right, if you're quick. Never easy with tremors, everyone. Never easy. But I won't give up. And there we are. Look, we've done it. We've pulled it off. And if we quickly get close pegs onto it to keep everything all together. Nope, that's not big enough. And then we'll just add a little drop of glue on the top of the fuselage. And then get one of our small... Oh, damn. It's called No, We're Not Giving Up. Britain never gave up during the war, so why... Oh, God's sake. I'm leaving that in. There we go. No, wait, nearly there. Gotta get it so that it'll stay around the stand as well. And look at that, everyone. We've managed to pull it off. Oh, hang on, I gotta wipe my hands for a minute because I got Revell glue on my hands and I don't really want to cloud that up. So one moment. Right, fellow Rangers, there's one bit that we did miss to do, or I did miss to do before putting the fuselage together, was putting this tail piece on. So I've done that now while off camera, and I put a little drop of Revell glue around here as well, just to try to help the other glue out. So it's starting to look like a proper fuselage for a Mustang. Unfortunately, like the other Mustang that we've done so far, we'll have to have the landing gear down because the rear tail wheel goes up and down, and it's the doors are open, so that means it needs to be done, because every single picture I've ever seen, including this one and the one on the other box, the tail wheel is up. So that must mean it comes up when the landing gear comes up. So that means it looked wrong with the undercarriage up and that down. Right. I think the Revelled Loo is helping it. I think. Right, we'll leave that alone for a minute. Right, while we're waiting for that, we will do a little bit of a time lapse on sorting out the wings. It's like you're running away, oh so high octane. Every time you need to fall in love, won't you take the ride on heavy metal? It's the only way that you can travel down that road. Now we've got the wings cut off the screws and rubbed down from any of the bits that are off the screws. According to what I've just double checked, because spoiler alert, we are doing the RAF one, if you weren't aware of that already, which is the Mustang 3. They did used to carry bombs. I just wanted to double check that before I went any further. So I don't want to be making it look like it carried them when it didn't. But from what I just double checked now, yes, RAF Mustangs did carry bombs. So yes, fellow Rangers, I do try and make a point of keeping everything accurate to what history was, not just from what the kit says, to what the actual aircraft used to have during the war. I tried to keep historic accuracy to a maximum. Not just for your benefits, but for mine, as that would do my head in if I found out that it didn't used to carry them, and then there's me going, oh yes, they carried them. Nope. That would absolutely bug me. Right. Historic accuracy is always, in my personal opinion, when doing these kits, number one priority. Because you're trying to build something that actually existed, and as in the Tuscany's Mustang, is still around, which is nice to know. That is a very good story behind that Tuscany's Mustang, which we will go into after this Mustang is built and finished, and that's regarding paint as well, because it wouldn't be complete until everything is done on it, as really don't do half measures on the Lone Ranger motoring. Yes, I know a lot of people probably are wondering why you call yourself Lone Ranger motoring, but yet you're doing model kits as well. Well, motoring was the originally idea for the channel, and still is the main idea. Car shows, car meets, it's museums. But at the same time, I also love other things. So if anyone else likes watching all the other things I like doing, then by all means, why not? Right, a little bit more glue down there. Right, we'll use our other pegs just so that we don't have to keep our fingers on there. And there we are, that's that. Both of them. One more will be needed, I see, on each side. Right, two more, just to keep the ends from peeling apart as well. Right, there we go. I know it looks like there's a lot just to keep wings together, but it just makes life so much easier to do it that way rather than struggle with my hands and then get glue everywhere and lose my rag with it. Right. Look at that. Oh, the other little P-51 is slowly coming together. Before the end of this episode, my plan is to have the fuselage together with the wings, as this won't take long to do. And then once we've done that, got the wings onto the fuselage, we will call it a day on this build for now, and then move on to the next part next time, which will probably be, let's see, yes, probably be making sure that all that needs to be put in will be put in prior. Well, get some painting done on the aircraft to make life a lot easier. As that's what we are on this channel. We always aim to try and make life as easier as possible, as life is short, and why make life difficult for yourself? Right, that's that side. Tail flaps. And get on to the other side. And then all we got to do now is make sure they're level. We don't want them looking like they're not level, because that's the goal of this operation, is to essentially build a mini replica of the aircraft in question. From what I've been able to find out about this other Mustang, and because I do research before I start building, and it's also like the Tuscanini's Mustang, it also has a very interesting history behind it. As you can see, there we are, as long as the camera focuses, there we go. Got it so it looks accurate. Right, that revolved glue is pretty fast, so we'll see how we're getting on here. Perfect, lovely jubbly, look at that. Right, we'll give these a couple of minutes and then come back to them. Right, as you can see from here is a very small cockpit, and you would never really be able to pick out the colours of the cockpit, so there's no point painting it. Right, let's get that tail wings leveled up properly so that when you're looking at the aircraft, it looks correct. It's only moved a little bit because I've just fitted the main wings on. Nearly there now, everyone. Just getting it so it's spot on where it needs to be, as if you don't do it properly, there's no point doing it at all. That's looking pretty good now. Right. We will give that time now to set. And as you can see, that's what our second Mustang is looking like so far. If you have enjoyed today's video, please press a like on it, as it's always appreciated when someone puts a like on one of my videos. If you put a comment on my videos, I will always make a point of answering them back. I always put a like and a heart on every and a comment back, as my personal opinion is that if you've made the time to put a comment on the video, I'll make time to comment back, as it's only fair. So, oh yes, and of course, if this is your first video that you've watched with me, and you have liked it and you want to see more, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're not far from 300 subscribers now, and essentially I'm so looking forward to hitting that number. So pretty much, and not forgetting, last but not least, the channel has its own Facebook page. A link will be in the description below, and the link will be in the description below of where my brother bought these model kits for me for Christmas. So anyway, till next time, my fellow Rangers, you take care, and Lone Ranger signing off.